We have Craig Holloway. Call him Craig. He enjoys listening to music on YouTube, Pandora and Spotify. He loves to get turned up.
Turned.
With friends and family. He wrote this, I didn't write this. When not doing schoolwork, he loves to volunteer for community service. Please give it up for Craig.
Woohoo! All right. So I have this paper because I like to get turned up. I don't want to keep going and I don't ever shut up. So I have to have this paper that keep me on and go. Well, anyway, what's up, everybody, first of all? How are you? Good. What's up? What's up? So again, my name is Craig Holloway. I'm a PhD student, fourth-year PhD student in the Department of Sociology here at Yale. And I'm going to talk to you today about, quote unquote, my road to science, so how I got into science and what it is that I do. So the first thing I want to say and tell you is how it is that I'm a different dude. As you can see right here, you have all of these balls. They look sort of like eggs, actually. And there's this one that is very different from all of the rest. So it's a couple of things that make me different. Number one, geography. I'm not from the north, and people always say, I had a guy the other day that says, he didn't ask me, was I from the South? He said, what part of the South are you from? And so I told him I'm from Alabama, and with Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, we call that the dirty South. Can anybody say that? The dirty South. So that's where I'm from. So my accent is somewhat different. I don't say, hello, how are you doing this morning? Good to see you. I said, what's up? How you doing? My name Craig. I'm just going over here to parlay, do what I do. And so my accent is different. I'm a different dude. Also, unlike many of the people who, all of the actual other guests who are here today to present to you, I'm not biological or natural sciences. I don't study chemistry. I don't study biology, immunology, etc. I study sociology here, as you saw from the first slide. So I'm a different dude in that way. And thirdly, I'm a different dude because I'm a black man. I'm a brother. I come from the old school. I don't look my age. I was conceived in the 70s, so I'm an old school Black Panther brother. So anyway, so I'm a different dude because I'm a brother. And even, for example, there's many places that I go, and sometimes I'm either one of the few people of color, and that includes Hispanics and Asian, or I'm one of the few blacks, and in many cases, I'm the only black man in the crowd. Hence, I'm a different dude. In my department currently, and for years now, I have been the only black man in my entire PhD program. That's getting ready to change, but for years that's been the case. But I'm in sociology now, but it actually didn't start out that way. I started out in college as a biology and nutritional science double major. Since I was in 7th grade, around your age, actually before, I was always interested in studying medicine. I was very interested in the human body. I read medical encyclopedias since I was probably in 6th or 7th grade. I was reading medical encyclopedias, doing all kinds of stuff. And I was inspired by the likes of this man right here. Anybody know who he is? Just raise your hand if you do. That is who? That is Dr. George Washington Carver. He is a famous scientist, and he is known the world over. Some people call him the peanut man. So he did all the research with the peanut and the sweet potato and all these other things. So I was very fascinated by this brother right here, and I wanted to be like him. I wanted to study science, hence I had chemistry sets and things like that and the like. But something happened. Boom! All the way through college, I was still a double major in sciences. Somewhere along the line, I changed. What happened? Well, there's good news, sort of, and there's bad news, sort of. So what had happened was, something happened. Bad news when things such as this happen, like an explosion, it can destroy equipment and blah, 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 blah. That's the bad news. Good news is, psych, nothing like that happened. What really happened was that I worked with kids over the summer. This was back in 1999. And that work that I had with kids that summer, sort of like this program you're in, but it was a summer program for the entire summer for elementary, middle, and high school students, mostly elementary and middle school students. And that work that I did that summer signaled to me that there was a change ahead, that perhaps there's something else that I'm interested in. I don't quite know what it is. But I would eventually discover over the course of the year when I went back to college that actually I was very interested in people, not just the human body and how it worked, but how people act, how they behave, how they interact with one another. So I changed my major from biology and nutritional science pre-med to psychology. And it was actually a great signal and a turn to go a different road. So now that I am a social scientist, biological and natural sciences, again, would be the likes of physics, chemistry, and biology. But when you study a discipline such as psychology, sociology, child development, these are known as social sciences. My life as a social scientist was so fascinating from the moment I declared that major and began to take psych classes and sociology classes. I'm telling you, it was like a light just came on inside of my whole brain. That's not where I got this brain right here. That's not why I got this brain right here. To show you the life of a social science, for example, people of social sciences, they study race, they study gender, how girls interact with one another, how women interact with one another, how women interact with men, how blacks interact with whites, on and on and on and on. Well, there was this one study where Carol Dweck, she's a psychologist, she studied and showed children how their brain is actually not fixed. So you're not going to be thinking the same way, have the same academic skills all your life. Your brain can actually work like a muscle, and you can strengthen it, and it can go from where it is now, cognitively, to a whole different level. And she had two different groups. One group, she had the experiment where she taught them how the brain was a muscle, and she gave them all of these exercises. And there was a control group where she did not do that with. Eventually, she compared, along with her colleagues, those two groups. And she saw that the group that was taught that the brain was like a muscle actually got better. They did better in school. They did better on standardized tests. Everything changed. The group that were not told that and believed that the brain was fixed and could not grow and strengthen, they actually remained the same. So it wasn't a matter of that being true. It was about how they thought about themselves. A psychologist actually studied that. So that's sort of the life of a social scientist. These are some of the things that we study. Now, the social sciences are sometimes called soft sciences, and what they study, biomedical, chemistry, etc., are known as, to some, as hard sciences. Some people see these as totally disconnected, but actually that's not true. There's a link between the soft and the hard sciences. For example, how does social science, or how can or does social science help hard sciences, or how does it interact with the hard sciences? This is a group of laboratory hard scientists who work for a company, pharmaceutical company. He talks about cancer and all those drugs. So these will be the people who actually create those drugs. They make them. They made aspirin and Advil and everything else you can think about. As a social scientist, if I came in the midst of this hard science group, what I would be interested in, the first thing I would notice is that this is a diverse group. You have men, right here, right there. You have women, right here, and right here. You have people who appear to me to be of different ages. You also have potentially someone or a number of people who may not even be from the United States and may be from different countries, such as the first speaker is from Mexico. I also noticed this sister right here. She's like that egg. She's standing out. She's different. She's like me. So as a social scientist, I would want to understand all of the experiences that they have in their laboratory. For example, what type of experiences do these men have with these men? That's gender. What type of experiences do the men have with the women? What type of experiences do the older group have with the younger group? What type of experiences does this sister right here have in this group as it concerns race? I'm very, very interested in that. And all of this actually helped to understand how they interact and how they function inside of their laboratory, which makes a big difference in how their experiments turn out, because who they are goes into that laboratory. I can even tell you a story here, many stories of how people don't have good experiences. Sometimes they have great experiences in their labs. And what I see is all the sociology and psychology behind why their lab works the way it does. Another example, hard science, how it helps soft science. Let's give you a simple example. Germs. Everybody say, ew. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm a social scientist, sociologist who work with people who goes out into an environment. I could be studying you, or actually I have been since I've been here. I've been studying this whole crowd. And so I shake hands all the time. I'm touching doors. I'm around people in different settings, in schools, in corporations, and skyscrapers, just talking to people, studying people, interacting with people. Well, in all this work that I do, there's a lot of germs I'm coming in contact with. It would behoove me, being coming upon me, to know a lot about something simple as germs, washing your hand with lukewarm water, all these things, protecting myself against diseases that can make me a sick sociologist if I don't pay attention to these things that we learn through hard sciences. Just to give you a simple example of how even that, all these things are actually connected. Now, as you can see, I used to have a fro, ballin'. Actually, that was me in May. I just cut my hair recently. She just found out. I know Carmen. And this beautiful queen right here is my mother. Say, aww. This old school G right here, you can see where I get it from, is my pops. They were here in May to watch me graduate. I'm not finished yet, but every PhD program gives you a master's degree along the way. It's called an en route degree. So I got that back in May, this past May. This is actually on Yale's campus in front of Sterling Library. I'm quite sure you've seen it. And we just took a picture on the day. I just decided to walk just so they could see it. Now, why did I put this up here? Parents and mentors. Parents are so important. No one gets anywhere alone. And I talked about my road, and I've been talking about my road to science. Well, it starts here in my house where I was born, where I was raised by these two people right here, my parents, also grandparents. I've had mentors along the way. All of these people have helped to get me where I am. I'm here to tell you. But I didn't come from anywhere. This is a woman here that didn't finish high school. This is a man who only finished high school, never seen the daylights of a college in his entire life. Yet they have raised 3 boys, all of us conceived in the 70s. I'm the youngest, I'm the baby. I'm the baby of the group, and they have raised not only boys who went on to graduate from high school, all 3 of us black boys, but we also, and I'm not harping on race, everybody's beautiful, but this does mean something in America. Because out of all the people who drop out of high school, black boys drop out at higher rates than everybody else. So this is something that's very important to a sociologist to want to know, what is this all about, right? They raised 3 black boys who all graduated from high school and all went to college. And me, I not only went to Tuskegee University where I studied initially, I also went on to Harvard University where I got my first master's, and now I'm at Yale here working on a PhD. I just received what is my 3rd master's and soon to be PhD. It took these parents, though they're not college educated, they raise college educated boys. It takes family, it takes mentors, people outside of your family or even within your family. Don't turn them away, because that's how you get to wherever you're going to go. Whether you're going to be a chemist, biologist, an engineer. Even if you're a woman, you say, oh, it's not a lot of women in engineering. Women can do engineering, women can do chemistry. We got one coming up soon, and she rocks. They can do that. It takes all of these people. And I end with this saying, there's an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child, and it is true. It took a whole village to get me where I am. I come from dirt nothing, from the hood, from ghetto proper nothingness to where I am today. Which is why I can switch it up from intellectual to hood in like 2 hot seconds. But these people are the reason why. With that being said, love on your parents, love all of your mentors, love everybody. Thank you, you rock! Oh, you may have questions? Oh, my bad. Quick questions and answers. I hope I didn't go over too. Was that good? How long was that? Oh, perfect. Any questions, blah, blah, blah? Yes. I'll answer a few because I know we have to keep it moving.
What was the most difficult obstacle that you had to overcome?
Oh, that's a great question. The most difficult, actually, that's a hard question because I had so many I can't even stop counting. Most difficult obstacle I've had to overcome. I was an undergraduate. When I was in undergraduate, it's back in the 90s. gray hair. Well, when I was an undergraduate student, my mom got sick. So they didn't see me walk to get my master's at Harvard because she got sick again, ironically. We had to hospitalize her in downtown Boston. Well, that's why I walked for this master's, even though I'm still here for a PhD, just so they could see. They didn't see the Harvard master's. I said, you will see the Yale master's. That's why I flew them up, put them in a hotel, in a suite and everything. So the hardest thing was having to get through undergraduate and staying strong and being resilient. While she was even sick back then, and I had to travel 2 hours round trip every day. I was a full-time student and I had a job. It was rough. It was very, very rough, but I didn't quit. And I didn't give up. I remained an honor roll student. I was on scholarship. I graduated an honor student, even in spite of all of that. So that was one of my greatest obstacles is that. Yeah. Anybody else? I know one of these brothers better ask me a question. I know I'm about to. And by brothers, I mean any dude in the crowd, because I'm really thinking about the one in the pink and white shirt that got turned up a few minutes ago to try to get y'all to get your chant right. Any questions, any thought, anything? Come on, Mr. Turned Up. No? Oh, you was all energetic a few minutes ago. I thought you were going to ask me a question. Nobody else? Everybody good? If nobody got a question, yes, sir.
Have you continued or will you continue to?
Have I continued or will I continue? I'm going to end on this question. I owe you for that. That was brilliant. He said, will I continue working with kids, or I'm still working. I've been working with them since 1999. I would die working with and for children. They will put me in my grave. That's what will be on my grave. He worked and saved all the kids he possibly could. So yes, sir, I will. And part of my research is actually with youth group, although I'm focusing on fathers for my research. But you can't be a father without a child, right? So even that's related to children. Thank you. That was a great question. I'll end with that.